Hi, thank you for watching Pablo and Kids. I'm DJ Kanje, your fact master, and today we'll be taking a deep dive into space. Normally people ask questions of what is space and what is the solar system. The solar system is a collection of all the planets in orbit of our specific sun. Now all those that orbit the sun have different particular characteristics. Some which are the hottest and some which are the coldest. There's Mercury is probably the hottest planet in our solar system, whereas if you stood on it, let's say you'd burn because it's closer to the sun. And then there's also the ones further behind. Planets like Neptune and dwarf planet Pluto, those could be very cold because they are very far from the sun. There's also large planets like Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter, which is surrounded by rings, which is actually debris that has been formed around the planet, which gives it a sort of ringy look. And then there's Earth. Earth is a planet that we live on, and even that we haven't explored it as much as we think we have. There's our solar system is inside a galaxy known as the Milky Way. Now, the funny thing that is about these things is that we are a solar system in a galaxy, in another one that expands until you can't even know because you haven't explored. It expands and expands and expands. So for what you know, there's probably a galaxy where the people are almost the size of our solar system. Those are theories which are known as like parallel universes, where you could put other things and thoughts into possibility. Also, one of the questions would probably be, are there other people like humans? Well, you couldn't exactly rule that out because with enough mass in space, you couldn't just say that it's all just empty. But then you could if you had proof. But nobody actually has proof. The same way nobody has proof of the Mariana Trench or what happened to Amelia Earhart's plane until they discovered it. So to bring it forth, you'd have to first use your proof. But most people have not found proof of these planets. They have used robots. Now, one of the encounters that they brought was sending humans into space. Well, there was a Russian. The Russians were the first person to send a man into space when they sent Yuri Gagarin to orbit the Earth. But then the Americans made their mark when they sent Neil Armstrong to the moon. This was broadcasted on live TV, and almost the whole world lay in awe that another man was on another planet. Then Neil Armstrong said the classic phrase, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," meaning that it was one small step for him, but a giant leap for humanity and the people who sent him there. Now more people are trying to do it even more. They are sending people to Mars. Rich guys are going into spaceships into and orbiting the Earth for fun. Even other things that were found on other planets that just people started asking themselves questions. Like there was water found on Mars. Why would there be water found on Mars? Maybe it was some kind of chemical reaction, or there was some life there. And then also one of the most controversial things was when they saw a door-ish shape on Mars, and that invoked a lot of questions of, was that a door to a civilization on Mars? Well, nobody could actually know, and there are a lot of things spreading about space. All we know is that space is, let's say, infinite. Space goes for not even just miles, not even just small miles like this. You can't even number them. But then there are also dangerous things in space, like supernovas, which are explosions of stars, which then transfer into black holes, and black holes suck up anything that they find in their way. And also, the more a black hole gets bigger, the more it increases danger. And not only that, but asteroids as well prove a big danger, because asteroids just come and start flying out of nowhere and can set to hit the Earth. Once one asteroid like this could actually land a whole continent in danger if it just hit the Earth once. And just hitting the Earth once would break its atmosphere, and very wrong things would happen. Even things like the sun dying and even the things of climate change, of ozone layer being depleted. All those prove dangers that could be very substantial if brought to a higher grade. Why it's important to know about these planets is because of reasons like climate change, ozone layer depletion, and degradation. Cutting down trees could increase the loss of oxygen, and loss of oxygen would mean not breathing. And not breathing properly would mean that either you'd have to retreat to another planet, or that almost all of humanity would die. That's why people should recycle their things and throw things in proper places, and not just and that's why people should not just go burning garbage and stuff and anything into the atmosphere, because it's not just you doing one small action for yourself, you're doing it for the entire cause of humanity.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Pablo and Kids. I'm your field reporter, Kunda. It's that time for back to school, and I hope most of you are back to school, but if you're not, whatever challenge it is, I pray that you go back to school. Let's head into today's episode. The Young Engineers Uganda team is back at it again, raising Uganda's flag high at the international robotics scene.
Robo papers, long way travel to be here. They are here to smile on their face. Thank goodness for that.
The 8 young engineers from the two teams, VRC Middle School and VIQ Elementary School, represented Uganda at the VEX Robotics World Championship in Dallas, Texas, where they came second overall. The VRC Middle School team played under the Technology Division together with 87 other teams. The division won second place overall after Maths. Other divisions were Science, Design, Art, and Engineering. We talked to Tabitha Aloyo Irunji, one of the youngest kids on the team.
So while at VEX, we built a robot, and it was really hard for us because we had many prototypes. Our first prototype was too heavy on the other side, so it couldn't collect blocks as much as we wanted. And then our second robot couldn't collect the purple blocks, which was an issue for us since we needed to earn more points. It would be really hard for us to collect a purple block and then a green block, so it was really hard. Then we had another prototype, but that prototype we found that we didn't have the pieces for it, so we decided to combine all our ideas and make one prototype. So our third prototype was really easy for us, and it was really more interesting for us because everyone would say, no, we should put a gear here, no, we should put an axle here. But it was really interesting for us to for these new issues. People think that robotics is hard, yet it's really easy, and those new issues would help us a lot. So while I was there, and building a robot would be really hard for me, but it would work out well. So I was a programmer, and while we were making our codes for our first and our second prototype, the codes didn't work out well as we planned. First we'd make a code, then again we wouldn't the code wouldn't work out well, something would stop working. Then the second time we'd write a code and then to do something, but it would adjust the speed. So our third prototype, we also had troubles in that code, but we sorted those troubles out.
VIQ Elementary School team played under the Science Division, and the division also came in second overall. The representatives got medals, and certificates were presented with education opportunities. The winners get to earn themselves scholarships at prestigious colleges and universities in the United States of America. We also had a chat with Queen Ankunda Kajwenji, who joined the Young Engineers at a very young age and is now enjoying the benefits of being part of the team.
While at VEX, I also learned teamwork and also cooperation, because you have to cooperate with a different team for you to win something. Or you'd be asking them, what's this, how does this work, when did you build this? So they would tell you these things, and they would tell you their strategy, so that you can combine them, or you can have your own strategy. So that if that team doesn't work, if that strategy doesn't work, you can have your own backup strategy to save them or to help them.
The team visited schools and universities while in the USA and got on opportunities for scholarships as well. They met many mentors and had career guidance talks with them.
Some of my friends did think it was a waste of time, and their parents didn't really also see the point of doing science, out of school as well. But it was doing many things for me, and yeah, it kind of showed them. There were many science fairs at school, and I happened to win one of them, where I was told to find a solution, find a problem in the community, and come up with a solution. And I ended up winning a science fair out of putting to use what I learned at Young Engineers. So yes, while you may think it's a waste of time, it's not really as useful as learning in school, because in school we're learning the theory part, but then once you go out there, once you do Young Engineers and then go out there and use the practical bit, it just makes much more sense.
The Young Engineers Uganda welcomes children aged 4 to 18 to enroll in their science, technology, engineering, and maths STEM program. Thank you for nurturing the next generation of scientists, innovators, critical thinkers, and problem solvers. There are 24 Uganda Catholic martyrs, of which 22 were killed under the orders of King Kabaka Mwanga of Buganda between the years 1885 and 1887. The other martyrs were killed in 1918 in Paimoil, northern Uganda. Among them was the youngest martyr, Saint Kizito, also known as Kizito Omuto. He was only 14 years old when he was killed. He was baptized on 25th May 1886 by Charles Lwanga, the leader of Uganda's Christian community at the time at Munyonyo, and burned alive on 3rd June 1886 in Namugongo. He was officially declared a saint on 18th October 1964 by Pope Paul VI in Rome. Kizito Omuto is considered as the patron saint of children and primary schools. His biological father was Lukomera of the Mamba clan, and his mother was Wangabira of the Fumbe clan. Kizito was made a page in the king's private apartments. He was a handsome boy, though small for his age, with spirited and lively character. After the martyrdom of Joseph Mukasa, he was more and more aware of the danger in which he was placed, and constantly asked to be baptized by the missionaries. On one occasion, he stayed the night at the mission, refusing to leave until his baptism date had been set. Another time, the missionary Simeon Lordell took the child in his arms and bundled him out a ground floor window in order to get rid of him. The missionaries felt that he was too young and not yet well enough instructed for baptism. At length, Lordell promised to baptize him in a month's time. Before that month was over, he had received both baptism and martyrdom. Kizito was employed as the king's errand boy. On the morning of the fateful day, May 25th, 1886, he was sent to collect canoes for Mwanga to go hippopotamus hunting. He was also regularly sent to drive cattle to the butchers who slaughtered them for the royal table. Being young and good-looking, Kizito was an object. The murder of Dennis Sebugwawo, his fellow page in the royal apartments, had scared him, but Charles Lwanga reassured him on the evening of his death, saying, "If we have to die for Jesus, we shall die together hand in hand." Next day in court of the audience hall, the king sentenced them all to death by burning at Namugongo. The pages and royal servants were roped together in two groups of taller and smaller boys. Lordell, waiting outside in vain for an audience with the king, he saw them depart. He noticed little Kizito was laughing at their odd situation, looking as happy as if he were at a play with friends. Having reached Namugongo, the young martyrs had a week of waiting. Though their hands and legs were tied with ropes, they spent the time praying and singing. The Catholics recited morning and evening prayers, grace before and after meals, the Angelias and the Rosary. Their killers were amazed at the calmness, resignation and joy of their charges. On June 3rd, 1886, at Namugongo, the 31 young men and boys, Kizito among them, were tied with fiber thongs and then wrapped in matting. They were then placed on the pier. As the flames rose, their voices could be heard praying and encouraging one another. Kizito's last words were, "Goodbye, friends. We are on our way." This goes to show that Kizito Omuto represented the love children have for God. As we celebrate Matters Day, remember to pray for your children to love God like Chizito Omuto.
That's all we had for you today. I've been your field reporter Kunda. Enjoy the Matters Day holiday.